Check. Check. Check or no?
Mic test, 1 2 1 2. It's the same. Mic test, 1 2 1 2. Mic test. Florida, Florida. Mic test, 1 2. Florida, Florida, Florida. Mic test. Mic test, 1 2. Florida. Cool.
have you right here.
Yes, sir.
Let me. Where's Kevin? See? We got Rubicon coming and Kevin. Okay. Well, good afternoon. We're here in Pasco County again. After we were here after Helene, they had a lot of storm surge for that, and then with Hurricane Milton, just so much rain and the water rose, and we knew that would happen immediately, but then also would continue to happen. So I really want to appreciate everybody, Sheriff's Department here with Sheriff Naco, the Kevin Guthrie, and the state folks that have helped make rescues and really help people throughout the community. Kevin Guthrie's here with me, Dave Kerner, Highway Safety Motor Vehicles, Major General John Haas, National Guard, Josie Tamayo, CEO, Volunteer Florida, Kevin Barr is the owner of Barr's Propane and Gas here locally, Jim Lehman, Southeast Operations Manager, Team Rubicon. We've got Senators Burgess and Hooper, and I think I saw Ingolia. I don't know why they let him in here, but I think he was here too. And then Representative Steele and Maggart, Tyler Smith, on-scene incident commander for Pasco, Team Rubicon, Florida Baptist Convention, David Coggins, state director for Florida, J.D. James, incident commander for Sarasota Disaster Relief for the Florida Baptist Convention, Trey Bearden, chief program officer, Toolbank USA, Pastor Laura Lambert, executive director, Faith Responders, and Elizabeth Christ, board chair, Faith Responders. So we'll get to them in a minute, but first just an update. So we've now had over 4 million accounts restored to power since Hurricane Milton came. That is the fastest that's ever been done for that many accounts. And so if you're even without power for a few hours, it could be a real pain in the rear end, but we had over 50,000 linemen. These folks really got to work. So you got about 170,000 accounts right now that are without power. Looks like a majority of those are TECO, but you also have some with FP&L and Duke. And, you know, the co-ops, they got it done very quickly. And they didn't have as many as the investor-owned utilities, but they did a really good job, and they brought in a lot of people as well. So, and in terms of the impacted counties on power, every place except Hillsborough is under 10%. And most are, Pasco is now 3%, and I know you've got some TECO accounts, I think, in Pasco that they're working on. And Hillsborough is about 12%, and I know they have a very aggressive timeline for today. I think you're going to see a lot more progress, and so we really appreciate everybody that's worked hard on that. You know, there have been storms in other parts of the country that were a fraction of as significant as this. People were without power for weeks on end, and so here people really worked hard. So that's 4 million and counting, and I think those others, I know they're working really hard on it. We also have been able to see fuel really rushing into the state from Port of Tampa. Canaveral has doubled what they normally do to help backfill, and even Port Manatee, we got that back up and running. Not full capacity yet, but people thought that was going to be out for several weeks. So we're really, really happy to see that. Now, we know that is the key, because all the stuff with the way fuel is delivered, it has nothing to do with the state of Florida. These are private markets, private companies. We are not Venezuela. You're not going to have the state government controlling, you know, what gas station gets gas. I mean, that is done through the normal course. But we also knew as the ports were getting back to where they needed to be, as power still needed to be restored to some gas stations over the weekend, that we wanted to be able to do what we could do to be able to help with the effort. And so we have now dispensed, just from the state, over 2.5 million gallons of gas free to the people of Florida. So we've done regular gas, we've done diesel. Some of that has been just backfilling stations who needed it, and they weren't maybe able to get it from the port. But a lot of it has been our fuel sites that we've set up. So we've had these all throughout the affected area. Right now we have 10 open throughout Florida. Tropicana Rail Yard in Bradenton, Plant City Stadium in Plant City, Central Lot Parking Lot in St. Pete, Charlotte Sports Park in Port Charlotte, St. Pete College in Tarpon Springs, East Bay Raceway in Tampa, Bradenton Motorsports Park in Bradenton, Gulfview Mall in Port Richey, Wiregrass Mall in Wesley Chapel, and Largo Mary Grizzle State Office, of course, in Largo, Florida. You can go to floridadisaster.org/updates if you want to see where those fuel sites are. Now, well, obviously we want to be helpful on that, but you are seeing a lot of fuel is moving. And initially we did a lot of escorts with Florida Highway Patrol and Dave Kerner. I know they're still doing those when needed. But you have had a lot of fuel come into Tampa now over the last couple days, and so that's a really, really good sign. But we're happy to have had that gas on hand and prepared, and we're able to get that out to people just to hold you over. I mean, it's not like we can do these sites indefinitely, but we wanted to hold people over, and they were able to get that. We've also responded to a lot of mission requests here in Pasco. 6 big debris removal trailers. 52,000 gallons of regular gas just in Pasco, 30,000 gallons of diesel in Pasco, 6 truckloads of water, 4 truckloads of meals ready to eat, a truckload of tarps, 500 road barricades, truckloads of ice, 12 light towers, a fuel depot for rescue operations and essential workers like county employee and hospital staff, 32 additional Starlinks, 60-person law enforcement strike team, and 550 cots. We have both points of distribution and our marks in Pasco County. Zephyrhills pod is at 5435 Gall Boulevard. That's open till 4 o'clock. That has things like supplies, food, and water. The Pasco County Multi-Agency Resource Center has all our state agencies there. That's at Hudson Regional Library in Hudson, and that's from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can find any point of distribution or any multi-agency resource center at floridadisaster.org. Those are the things that the state has set up, and we do that very quickly. I know the federal government typically does things called DRCs, Disaster Recovery Centers. Have they done that yet?
They were starting to open.
So those are starting to open by the federal government. And so there are certain things with, like, if you have FEMA individual assistance, it's a federal program. It's not something that we can resolve for you from the state perspective. You got to go through the federal bureaucracy. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So those disaster recovery centers are starting to open, but we've had our centers open for a long time. School districts, 49 of the 50 school districts that experienced closures last week have reopened today. Hillsborough will open soon. You can go to fldoe.org/storminfo if you have any concerns or questions about where your school district is. So here in Pasco, you look at the storm, the eye of the storm went into Sarasota County. And we always talk about what side of the storm is stronger, leads to more storm surge, and it's the one on kind of the northeast. It was kind of coming a little horizontal. So basically south of where the eye of the storm is where we saw some of the most surge. Not as much surge as Helene, but it was like you go down to like Charlotte County, Manasota Key. I was down there. You know, they had serious surge. You also had wind, but I think what we saw is that you didn't have the storm surge in Tampa Bay here. It actually sucked it out, and I think some of the areas in Pinellas and Hillsborough reported negative storm surge, but you had huge amounts of rainfall, and the northern part of the storm was just so wet, and so you have places in Pinellas, Pasco, Hillsborough, Polk that just got inundated with water. And so you had 10 to 15 inches that occurred along and east of I-75 corridor. Both inland and riverine flooding has been observed. Clearly, there were multiple places within Pasco County that have seen that. And we've had joint operations between maritime aviation and crisis response units. We had 300 civilians rescued by the Florida State Guard after becoming stranded in their neighborhoods due to rising riverine floodwaters here in Pasco. Obviously, the Sheriff's Department has made a lot of water rescues. You know, some of these floods were not necessarily like that was going to go over your house and that people were going to drown, but it was, there's debris, there's down power lines, it's hazardous. So they were able to bring those residents to safety, and we're glad of that. But you still have a lot of water. So at my direction, Florida Division of Emergency Management has deployed 7 floodwater pumps to the Silver Oaks community here in Zephyrhills, with another 20 pumps on the way for additional support. We have been at the state level executing pumping operations in this area since before Hurricane Debbie. Remember that? Everyone's forgot about that. That was 2 hurricanes ago. We've also deployed a flood barrier to surround the lift station in Silver Oaks community in order to make repairs. We've also deployed a human services needs assessment team to provide support to residents who need to find new housing because of storm damage. The Division of Emergency Management is supporting the operation of 2 shelters for displaced residents in this area. The Fasano Regional Shelter, which also serves special needs individual, that's 11611 Denton Avenue in Hudson. And then the Wesley Chapel Recreation Complex, which is a general population shelter, 7727 Boyette Road in Wesley Chapel. So thanks for FDEM for getting that available for our residents. Now, we also have an ability to help people through charitable giving and through private organizations. We started something, or at least made it a big deal, called the Florida Disaster Fund. Hurricane Ian, we raised and distributed $63 million for folks who are in need, and there's a variety of ways that we do that. In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we started it up. We raised, a few $1 million. It wasn't bad, but now that Milton has come, it's raised more money. So they're over $12 million. I think they're going to continue to raise some decent money here in the coming days, and we appreciate all the major entities who helped do that, including Lennar Corporation, who donated $5 million to the Florida Disaster Fund, as well as Walmart, who donated $1 million. Now, through the Disaster Fund, we've been able to cut red tape, and we've been able to get assistance to people who need it. So I'm proud today to say, through the Disaster Fund, I am here in Pasco County to award $500,000 to support nonprofit organizations that operate in Florida and provide free muck and gut services, free debris removal, free tarping, free temporary home fixes, and other volunteer services to those whose homes have been damaged or destroyed by any of these hurricanes. Each of these organizations has been on the ground in Florida following both of these more recent hurricanes, and they're going to continue to help Floridians who were devastated by the storm. So we're going to apportion the money, $50,000 each, to as follows. Team Rubicon, who was here after Helene. They've been doing things like muck and guts, tree trimming, and repairs to homes and businesses, and they're going to continue doing that work for folks in this area. Tool Bank USA, they provide tools to many of the organizations that we have recognized and award with the Disaster Fund. So Tool Bank USA was launched with the idea of neighbors helping neighbors by giving their time and loaning their tools to do home repairs for their neighbors. They provide the tools, staff, and various size trailers to community-based organizations and their volunteers at no cost following a disaster. And I saw this after Hurricane Ian, massive trailer. And like if you're a fix-it guy or a handyman, like everything you would want, you just go do it. You do the work and you can go. And these groups use it, and it's really, really cool. So we're glad that they're in the fight. Florida Baptist Convention Disaster Relief. It allows the Disaster Relief Ministry to act immediately and effectively to help people, provide food, tarping, and assisting with muck and gut and debris removal. Faith Responders was founded by a group of Methodist pastors and church members in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian and Hurricane Idalia in Florida. And this year they've responded to support Floridians impacted by not only these hurricanes, but also tornadoes. And we had some in Tallahassee earlier in the summer. They do debris cleanup, muck and guts, and supply distribution. We're also awarding $50,000 each to the following groups who are not able to be with us here today: Samaritan's Purse, Rebuilding Tampa Bay, SBP, All Hands and Hearts, CWS, and Plain Compassion Disaster Response. So we appreciate what these groups can do. We have confidence in their mission, and I know the people of Florida are going to be thankful. We're also trying to help as we find people that are in need. We have our Hope Florida volunteers and Hope Florida employees who go out into the communities and try to assess needs. We were able, through the Florida Division of Emergency Management's nonprofit foundation, to purchase a lot of Walmart gift cards. And so we have $100 Walmart gift cards that, when appropriate, will be handed out to people that have either been displaced or that have significant needs. So we appreciate being able to use those gift cards, and we will definitely work to get those in circulation where it's going to matter. You also see us here with Lowe's. Why do we have that? Well, because we're able to announce Lowe's Home Improvement has donated 250 flood buckets to Volunteer Florida to distribute to individuals who are cleaning up their homes after flooding. These flood buckets include bleach, sponges, disinfectant, gloves, trash bag, flashlights, and other items necessary to clean up water and sanitize a home after a flood. So these buckets will be available to members of this community and distributed elsewhere by the state. We have our Hope Florida bus that will be located in the following places today: Mission Hill Church in Temple Terrace, 10 to 3, Mount Olive Baptist Church in Plant City from 12 to 5, Zephyrhills at the Samuel W. Pasco Recreation Park, Pinellas County, 9 a.m. to 7 at Botanical Gardens Magnolia Room in Largo on Almerton Road. We also have Hope teams deploying to canvass Plant City, Ellington, and other locations throughout Pinellas County to support impacted communities. They go door to door, they bring supplies, some of them will bring these gift cards, and they've been able to help thousands of people by going out into the communities and not just sitting back and twiddling their thumbs, but actually trying to make a difference. Imagine that. You actually have government that is responsive. Insurance villages. So we are going to have, I see wind damage, and so the regular traditional homeowners insurance, and then a lot of the flood damage. I would imagine most of that's going to be the National Flood Insurance Program through FEMA. But the guy that oversees this in Florida is the Chief Financial Officer of Florida, Jimmy Petronis. And what he has done is launched insurance villages across the state to help policyholders with filing claims related to both Milton and Helene. The first site opened in Manatee County yesterday at the Bradenton City Hall. Today in Pinellas and Polk counties, sites are opening at the Long Center in Clearwater and the RP Funding Center in Lakeland. Tomorrow, a fourth location will open in Hillsborough County at the Plant City Strawberry Festival. Each location will be open 9 to 5, 7 days a week, and will remain open as long as there is demand in each location. So again, if you have concerns about that, State Chief Financial Officer Jimmy Petronis has insurance villages. He oversees that industry and is bringing everybody to the table. So we appreciate him doing that. Okay, we appreciate everybody. Why don't we want to hand out the checks? Do we have these? Okay, whoever wants to come up here. We've got Rubicon. You guys want to come? Tool Bank? Yeah. All right. Who else? Safe Responder, and Florida Baptist Convention. Florida Baptist. Right here. All right. Get over here. No, okay. Yeah. Post the picture right there. There we go. All right. All right, do good. Good job. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, now we'll hear from Kevin Guthrie, I think is the first one up. Let me see. We'll hear from Kevin Guthrie first.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Governor, for your continued support of the Florida Division of Emergency Management and the State Emergency Response Teams. As the Governor has mentioned here today about pumps, we have been on mission here since before Debbie, pumping water. We've moved millions of gallons of water. But we are now to a point where we have 20 additional pumps. The governor said it was en route. I'm pleased to announce, Governor, that as we always are, fast, we are already here. So those 20 pumps are in area, ready to go and work with the city of Zephyrhills as well as Pasco County Public Works to start moving as much water as we possibly can. I need to set a couple of expectations. The Hillsborough River, the Withlacoochee River, and the Alafai River are in flood stage. So we're going to have to wait on those rivers to go down before we can actually start moving vast amounts of water. Once that happens, we will have all the necessary resources to go out there and get that job done. Just as we have staged linemen, just as we have staged the National Guard, other private sector individuals, we have now staged and we are ready to respond in real time when those rivers go down. Debris. I want to take a minute real quick to call out Pasco County. Pasco County is doing debris right. They took the executive order. They're moving debris 24/7. Their staff is coming up with innovative ideas about how we can get other stuff done. How can we employ the small hauler, the two guys with an F-150 pickup truck, the medium haulers, dump trucks? We're trying to get that done. I had a conversation with the federal coordinating officer this morning about how can we get local community, again, federally supported, give us a policy, give us what we need to do, let the state manage it, and then let local communities go out and execute. We are best when local communities can execute on behalf of their own recovery. So again, we're trying to put that together, been working that now for a couple of days. Hopefully we can bring this in for a landing. We currently have 10 public fuel depots and over 20 points of distribution open where residents can pick up water, shelf-stable meals, and other supplies. There are multi-agency resource centers, as the governor has already talked about. Now again, I want to just dig in one layer deeper on what the governor said. Federal DRCs and state multi-agency resource centers. From the common layperson, they probably look very, very close to being the exact same thing. However, what is different is if you want to work your case through FEMA, you got to go to a DRC. However, at a multi-agency resource center, we can help you register with FEMA. We can sit down at an iPad, a tablet with you, a computer, and help you get registered, and we will do that. We have people there that will help you get that done. But if you want to ask, why didn't I get approved for that? Why did I get denied for this? That is at a DRC. That's the biggest difference between the two. For information on where these are at and all the resources that are available to you, please go to floridadisaster.org/updates for those locations. As we continue to see rivers now crest and in some handful of cases rise, please make sure you're staying out of the standing water, as it can pose a significant health risk to you and those that are in it. It could be full of bacteria, displaced wildlife, and can even be deeper than you think. Having been a former resident here in Pasco County, even just up the road in Dade City for a short time, I will tell you there's a lot of wildlife in the Green Swamp, which is just to our east from here. All right, so again, please keep that in mind. Assistance is available to residents who receive damages from Milton. Residents can apply by visiting disasterassistance.gov, downloading the FEMA app, or calling 1-800-621-FEMA. That's 1-800-621-3362. If your home has received significant flood damage, ensure that your electricity is off and that you're wearing appropriate safety gear before entering your home. We have been approved for FEMA Clean and Sanitize Assistance, so if you've applied for FEMA assistance, this is a one-time payment of $300 for residents to help get stuff to clean and sanitize their homes. These Lowe's buckets is like an immediate, Band-Aid, but you're going to probably need more supplies. So that FEMA Clean and Sanitize is a $300 check that they will send to you so that you can help out with cleanup costs. If you require assistance, please do not fall for scams. If there is somebody that's at your door saying, I can fix this for $100 cash today, $1,000 cash today, and we will come back, that's a deposit, but I need it in cash, please don't fall for that. Get their name, take a picture, let us know. The Attorney General is more than welcome to, or more than happy to start investigating that. The Department of Business and Professional Regulation as well. Make sure you check their license. Go to the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation and check their license at myfloridalicense.com. If you need help, we will send you help. Josie's team at Volunteer Florida, as well as other nonprofits, will help you out. Our number one place for that type of assistance is crisis cleanup. You can go to that. You can contact them online on the phone at 844-965-1386. That's 844-965-1386. They will help you with muck outs, tarps, tree removal, and a lot more. If you have roof damage, I'm happy to announce that FEMA has turned on Operation Blue Roof as of about 9 minutes ago. And you can now go and qualify for actually getting the U.S. Army Corps to come out and help you put a tarp on your roof. So you go to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Blue Roof program. It is a free service. Again, it is a free service. If somebody's trying to charge you to put a blue roof on, tell them to go away. Residents impacted by Hurricane Milton can sign up for this no-cost service by visiting blueroof.gov. Again, that's blueroof.gov. Or you can call 888-ROOF-BLUE. That's 888-ROOF-BLU to have somebody come to your house. Eligible residents can apply now through Tuesday, November the 5th. Again, state assistance information line is available at 1-800-342-3557. Again, that's 1-800-342-3557. And as always, this is the point in my talkers that I say, I've given you a whole lot of numbers and a whole lot of stuff. The places you need to go to get all of that information in one-stop shop, floridadisaster.org/updates, or you can get all of this information by following us on our social media platforms. It's at FLSERT on X and Instagram, and at FDEM on Facebook. I appreciate your support, Governor. We could not do this without you, but you make it easiest for us to do that. Thank you.
And good afternoon, oh, it's the shortest one. Good afternoon, everyone, and it's a pleasure really to be here with you. I'm Josie Tamayo. I'm the CEO of Volunteer Florida, and I want to thank the governor and everyone here for allowing us the opportunity to highlight the ongoing need in our state for aid, as well as the vital work that these wonderful organizations, who I have been out in the field with, doing different things, even in the beginning of Hurricane Ian. So in partnership with our public and private sectors and other non-governmental organizations, the Florida Disaster Fund supports both response and recovery. And if you all remember when Hurricane Ian hit, the governor says, we will be here in the beginning and we will be here in the end. So I'm here to tell you that is what we do, and we do it #1 in the United States. So the Volunteer Florida Foundation distributes through the disaster funds funds to volunteer organizations that have identified unmet needs and are actively engaged in disaster response and recovery in Florida. Thanks to the many generous contributions made to the Florida Disaster Fund, during Hurricane Ian and Idalia alone, we received $67 million in donations, as the governor stated, and was deployed to provide critical assistance to individuals and communities in need. Just a couple of facts. We helped more than 7.3 million people were served, 95.4 meals were distributed. Volunteers contributed over 1.7 million hours, helping to repair nearly 2,500 roofs and muck out over 2,000 homes. And each volunteer hour was cost at $29.41. More than 7,000 homes have been repaired, and 18.2 million essential items have been distributed to those in need. Volunteer Florida serves obviously as the emergency response arm to Hope Florida and Initiate, Activate, Hope Florida. And please, as the governor has said before, that line is open to all Floridians for the next 2 weeks. So also, more importantly, your donations, big or small, they don't have to be big or small. They have to be whatever they are tax deductible. And so we're very, very careful to ensure that those, with the governor's assistance and all our state partners, go to help the needs and help those organizations that help Floridians through response and recovery. Our commitment, as the governor says, to communities extends beyond immediate relief long after the storms. The Florida Disaster Fund, it's only been activated for not even 7 days, Governor, I believe. It's accepting donations for response and recovery. So I want to thank you, obviously, our wonderful First Lady, Casey DeSantis, your continued support to ensure that impacted communities are able to respond and recover. Please support the Florida Disaster Fund so that we can assist these communities in response and recovery. Please go to www.volunteerflorida.org. You can contribute through PayPal, Venmo, or also mailing a check. If you go to our website, it is chock full of information. We've made it very simple, and you can see all the wonderful partners, Lennar, Verizon, Comcast, JM Families, Walmart, Wawa, all the wonderful people throughout Florida and companies that have assisted us, and we couldn't do it without it. So I thank you very much. I am praying for all of us, and we couldn't be in a better position with the best governor in the state, best governor in the country, Governor DeSantis, and all the wonderful staff. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. There you go. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, so we've got Jim from Team Rubicon.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jim Lehman with Team Rubicon. I'm joined here by Tyler Smith, our incident commander here at our base in Pasco. If you don't know who we are, Team Rubicon is a veteran-led humanitarian organization that helps global communities before, during, and after disasters and crises. We are very proud to be back helping the state of Florida again. We're very proud to be here on the ground in Pasco County and a number of other counties around Central Florida. We still have assessment teams out assessing further damage and unmet needs in additional counties that we're not currently stood up in. So we're going to be here for a while. We're going to be helping out, like was mentioned before, especially with muck outs or muck and guts, chainsaw work, whatever that looks like, and roof tarping work is really what we're looking to specialize here in Florida. Just want to thank the governor and the state of Florida for welcoming us out today, for giving us a very generous donation, and we're happy to be here and continue to support Florida. Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate it. Okay, Kevin Barr, Barr's Propane Gas and AC.
Thank you. First of all, I'd just like to thank some people. Governor, what you've done for our propane gas industry after Hurricane Irma, we could not get propane delivered. We called you, they were on the road. We've already had over 100,000 gallons delivered to our plants since the hurricane. That would not have happened without you. Thank you very much for that. We are working 7 days a week at our company to try to get generators, food banks. This used to be a shelter here. We have a 1,000-gallon tank behind that. We're doing everything we possibly can. I want to thank my employees. They are just absolutely, I'm not sure how they've slept at all. We have worked 7 days a week. We've kept our plants open. We had no power at any of our plants. All right, we put out a thing that we needed help. Unbelievable the help that we got. We lost roofs on both our Dade City and our Zephyrhills location. And right now we were up and running the second day at each location with generators, with anything we needed. All right. The community that we have here is special. Anybody that lives here understands it. Betmar Acres, all right, the city of Zephyrhills, this place is just incredible. My mother lives here, all right. My sister is one of our employees, okay. She's also the mayor of Zephyrhills. She has been working night and day to try to make sure that everyone has propane gas that needs it, okay. Our air conditioning company, right now when the power comes on, you understand that a lot of these motors and other things, they just don't like voltage drops and voltage, raises. So we're working night and day to try to get everyone air conditioning, because after you get power, the first thing you want here is air conditioning. So we are doing the best that we can possibly do. We are all tired, but sir, I just cannot thank you enough. Thank you, sir. All right.
Well, thanks for your hard work. I know they've worked really hard with everything to get everybody up and running, and that's the one thing about the hurricanes. When you have when you have a hit, interruption in power, even very rapid restoration, to do over 4 million like they've done in this storm has never been done that quickly. But it could be really hot and nasty. People want the AC. We are going to have, I think, the next 2 days, the temperatures are going to drop, which I think we all will probably look forward to one way or another, particularly these guys out here working hard on the muck and guts and all that. But we appreciate everyone that's really worked hard throughout all this. We've got a lot more work to do, but I just thought back to, President Reagan used to say, the most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." And there's a lot of wisdom in that, but I don't think the Gipper ever saw Florida respond to a natural disaster, because we get after it and we actually do make a difference. And that's the folks here locally in Pasco and our other counties and cities. That's Kevin and his team at the State Emergency Response Team, working hard to make a difference. And we really believe that we want to see rapid restoration of services, rapidly as possible, get the debris gone, and get people back on their feet. And that's been a really, really good culture that's been created here. And I know people have made a big difference. So thank you for everybody that's been involved with that. We got more work to do, but we're happy to be here making a difference today. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Okay, you guys take care. Bye-bye.